To achieve greatness, one must first conquer his own mind. The most extraordinary achievements in history didn't begin with action. They began with a mindset. A way of thinking so powerful, it broke through limits, defied conventions, and reshaped the world. Throughout history, a rare few have defied the limits of their time, reshaping the world in ways once thought impossible. These individuals didn't just achieve greatness, they redefined what greatness could mean. Their stories are testaments to a mindset that pushes beyond fear, challenges every boundary, and leaves a mark on humanity that lasts for centuries. Among these legends, Alexander the Great stands as a towering example, not merely for the empire he built, but for the relentless drive, strategic brilliance, and vision that fueled his actions. Alexander's early life was shaped by one of the most influential minds in history, Aristotle. As his tutor, Aristotle imparted lessons on philosophy, science, and politics, shaping Alexander's understanding of the world. Aristotle's philosophy emphasized the pursuit of eudaimonia, a life of flourishing and virtue achieved through the cultivation of balance and excellence. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander absorbed the values of courage, temperance, and wisdom. These virtues would later influence his approach to leadership and conquest. One moment that reflects Aristotle's teachings was Alexander's diplomatic strategy during the early stages of his conquests. After securing control of Thebes, Alexander spared Athens, demonstrating wisdom and restraint. Rather than destroying the city, he sought to unite the Greek states under his rule, respecting their cultural importance while consolidating his power. This balance of force and diplomacy mirrored Aristotle's ideals of virtuous leadership. However, as Alexander's empire expanded, his unrelenting drive pushed him toward excess. Aristotle advocated for the golden mean, the idea that virtue lies between extremes. Courage, for example, stands between cowardice and recklessness. While Alexander's early actions showed balance, his later campaigns, marked by increasing destruction and disregard for limits, raise questions about whether his ambition had grown too excessive. By Aristotle's standards, greatness might require harmony between aspiration and responsibility. Did Alexander's vision elevate him to greatness, or did his insatiable drive reveal the dangers of unchecked ambition? Centuries later, Friedrich Nietzsche introduced the concept of the Übermensch, a figure who transcends traditional morality and creates their own values. The Übermensch rejects societal norms, pushing humanity to new heights through sheer willpower and vision. In many ways, Alexander the Great embodies this idea. Alexander was not content to follow the traditions of his predecessors. Instead, he sought to redefine what was possible. His audacious crossing into Persia with a relatively small army defied conventional wisdom. Once in power, Alexander pursued a revolutionary vision of cultural fusion, adopting Persian customs and encouraging intermarriage between Macedonians and Persians. This audacious break from tradition reflected a godlike aspiration to unite humanity under a singular, transcendent empire. However, Nietzsche's Übermensch is an ideal, one who creates new values and overcomes human limitations. While Alexander's actions pushed the boundaries of what humanity could achieve, his mortality ultimately revealed his human fragility. His godlike aspirations were cut short by illness at the age of 32, and the empire he built crumbled soon after his death. This sharp contrast between Nietzsche's Übermensch and Alexander's mortality invites reflection. Was Alexander truly an Übermensch, reshaping the world with his extraordinary vision? Or does his story serve as a reminder that even the greatest among us are bound by human limitations? Alexander's greatness was not just a product of his ambition, it was rooted in his brilliance as a military strategist. One of his most famous achievements was the Battle of Gaugamela, where his smaller, outnumbered army triumphed against the much larger Persian forces led by Darius III. But this was not his only demonstration of genius. The Siege of Tyre offers another glimpse of Alexander's mastery. The city, built on an island and fortified by strong walls, seemed impregnable. Alexander's response was extraordinary. He ordered the construction of a causeway to bridge the gap between the mainland and the island, effectively turning the sea into solid ground for his troops. This combination of engineering innovation and unyielding determination highlighted his ability to adapt and overcome insurmountable challenges. Philosophically, Alexander's military prowess aligns with ideas from Sun Tzu's Art of War. Sun Tzu emphasized the importance of understanding both oneself and the enemy, as well as the ability to adapt to circumstances. Alexander embodied this mastery in action, demonstrating the seamless fusion of preparation and instinct. However, this mastery raises a deeper question. Does greatness in war contribute to the betterment of humanity, or does it reduce greatness to conquest? Alexander's campaigns brought destruction and suffering to many, even as they reshaped the political and cultural landscape. Can mastery in warfare truly be considered a hallmark of greatness, or does it represent a darker side of human ambition? As Alexander pushed further east, reaching the edges of India, his ambition began to show its limits. His men, exhausted from years of campaigning and faced with the unfamiliar terrain and climate, refused to march any further. This mutiny was a pivotal moment in Alexander's career, a clash between his boundless ambition and the human endurance of those he led. For the first time, Alexander's vision was met with defiance, not from his enemies, but from his own soldiers. The men who had followed him across continents and through countless battles now stood united in their refusal. This moment forces us to consider the cost of ambition. How far can one person push before the pursuit of greatness strains the bonds of loyalty and collective effort? This turning point also invites a philosophical reflection. Eastern philosophy, particularly the Taoist concept of Wu Wei, offers a contrast to Alexander's relentless drive. Wu Wei emphasizes effortless action and harmony with the natural flow of life, a principle that seems at odds with Alexander's insistence on defying limitations. Alexander's refusal to accept the natural boundaries of his conquests raises a profound question. When does ambition stop being a virtue and start becoming a flaw? His relentless pursuit of greatness inspired unparalleled achievements, but it also led to exhaustion, discontent, and the eventual fragmentation of his empire after his death. Is ambition a force that elevates humanity, or does it carry the seeds of its own destruction? Alexander's relentless ambition came at a great personal cost. Despite his military triumphs and grand vision, he paid the ultimate price for his drive. When Alexander died at the age of 32, there was no successor to take the throne. What followed was chaos. His generals, unable to agree on a unified plan, divided his empire, leading to years of conflict and fragmentation. The cost of greatness extended beyond Alexander himself. The lands he conquered were forever changed, often violently. Cities were razed, cultures disrupted, and countless lives lost in the wake of his ambition. Alexander's story doesn't end with his death. His legacy has endured for over 2 millennia, inspiring countless leaders, generals, and thinkers. The cities he founded, such as Alexandria in Egypt, became hubs of culture and learning, bridging civilizations and leaving a mark on history that continues to this day. From a philosophical perspective, Alexander's legacy invites comparison to Aristotle's and Nietzsche's ideas. Aristotle might argue that Alexander's failure to balance ambition with prudence led to his ultimate downfall. His disregard for the golden mean meant that his ambition, though remarkable, ultimately became excessive and self-destructive. Nietzsche, however, might see Alexander as a flawed Übermensch, a figure who redefined what humanity could achieve, even if his mortality exposed the limits of that vision. Alexander's audacious fusion of cultures and his godlike aspirations align with Nietzsche's ideals, but his inability to sustain his empire underscores the inherent fragility of human greatness. Alexander's story forces us to confront the nature of greatness itself. Was his greatness measured by his conquests or by his vision to unite the world? Or does his story remind us that all greatness, no matter how extraordinary, is bound by human fragility?